ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्प तरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 9, Dhruva Mahārāja returns home. And we are in the section where we are reading prayers of Dhruva 6 to 17. Thank you, Murti Krishna Prabhu. So we'll come to the next prayer now. That is text 16. Just a minute. So we are at text 16. Yasmin viruddhagatayo yaniṣam patanti vidyadayo vividha shaktayanyupurvyat tad brahma vishvabhavan ekamanantamadyam anandamatra vikaramaham prapadye. Translation.
My dear Lord, in your impersonal manifestation of Brahman, there are always two opposing elements, knowledge and ignorance. Your multi energies are continually manifest, but the impersonal Brahman, which is undivided, original, changeless, unlimited, and blissful, is the cause of the material manifestation. Because you are the same impersonal Brahman, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the unlimited impersonal Brahman is the effulgence of the transcendental body of Govinda. In that unlimited effulgent aura of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are innumerable universes with innumerable planets of different categories. Although the Supreme Person is the original cause of all causes, his impersonal effulgence, known as Brahman, is the immediate cause of the material manifestation. Dhruva Mahārāja therefore offered his respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. One who realizes this impersonal feature can enjoy the unchangeable Brahmananda described here as spiritual bliss. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes that this impersonal feature or Brahman manifestation of the Supreme Lord is meant for persons who are essentially very advanced but still not able to understand the personal features or variegatedness of the spiritual world. Such devotees are known as Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, or devotees whose devotional service is mixed with empiric knowledge. Because the impersonal Brahman realization is a partial understanding of the absolute truth, Dhruva Maharaj offers his respectful obeisances. It is said that this impersonal Brahman is the distant realization of the absolute truth. Although apparently Brahman seems to be devoid of energy, factually it has different energies working under the headings of knowledge and ignorance. On account of these different energies, there is continually a manifestation of Vidya and Avidya. Vidya and Avidya are very nicely described in Ishopanishad. It is said there that sometimes, due to avidya or a poor fund of knowledge, one accepts the absolute truth as ultimately impersonal. But in fact, the impersonal and personal realizations develop in proportion to the development of devotional service. The more we develop our devotional service, the more closely we approach the absolute truth, which in the beginning, when we realize the absolute truth from a distant place, is manifest as impersonal.
Yeah.
People in
So it's a
general.
wrong purport. We'll read in two sections. Now here, Dhruva Maharaj is offering prayers to the impersonal Brahman. He's saying, my dear Lord, your impersonal manifestation of Brahman always contains two opposing elements, that is knowledge and ignorance. Because ultimately, Brahman is the cause of even the material world. And therefore, the ingredients of the material world are also the Brahman. Although that Brahman is undivided, original, changeless, limitless, and blissful, and you are the same Supreme Brahman, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the spiritual body of the Lord emanates a spiritual prabha, yasya prabha, prabhava jagadanda koti. And that is the light coming from the transcendental body of the Lord. It is called as Brahman. Simple it is. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Just like the light coming from the sun is called as sunlight, light coming from the tube is called as tube light. Similarly, the light coming from the Supreme Lord is called as Brahman. Or, the Yasya Prabha Prabhavato, and it is spread through Jagadanda Koti. And millions and billions of universes are floating in that Yasya Prabha Prabhavato. This Brahman is the immediate cause of material manifestation, right? So, is Brahman the cause? Yes, Brahman is the cause. But Brahman is not the ultimate cause. It is the intermediate cause, right? There is one more cause beyond this cause. That is the cause of the Brahman. That is very important to understand. And one who is absorbed in this Brahman, especially impersonal feature, they enjoy this unchangeable Brahmananda. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary, he mentions that this kind of Brahman realization is very appealing to those who are very advanced spiritually, but still are not able to understand the personal features of the Supreme Lord or variegatedness of the spiritual world. They are not offensive. They are simply not aware of Param Bhavam Ajananto. That's it. Just like, there are many great personalities who were impersonalists from the perspective of not Mayavadi, but they are Brahmavadi. Mayavadi means they are offenders at the lotus feet of the Lord. Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadhi. But these are Brahmavadis who think that, Brahman is the ultimate. But they don't know that there is the personal feature and which is beyond Brahman. Like many such examples are like, the four Kumaras are there. Then there is, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Then there is Prakashananda Saraswati. And, so many personalities. So these personalities, Prabhupada writes here, they are unaware of the spiritual variegatedness, and they are called as Jnana Mishrita Bhakta. Further, Srila Prabhupada explains that this impersonal Brahman is the distant realization of the absolute truth. What is a distant realization of absolute truth? Means absolute truth realized from a distance. We have seen n number of examples, just like there is a hill, and if you see from a distance hill, you will see only the hill. But when we start going close to the hill, we will develop more relationship with the hill because we will have better sambandha gyan about the hill. Then we'll realize, oh, there is a lot of variegatedness. There are trees also. And then we say, oh, there is a hill, there is a tree. And then when we still start going closer, then we will see, oh, there is not only hill, there are trees, there are people walking around, there are birds, and they are chirping, they are having nice relationship. So the distant realization of the hill is very impersonalistic, right? But as we approach the hill, the realization will become more and more personal. What a beautiful point Srila Prabhupada explains here, right? Look at this word, distant. Such a amazing word it is. Distance means from distance. And to the degree we are from distance, that realization will be always very impersonal. But as we start going close to personality, then what we'll realize, the more we develop our devotional service, the more closely we approach the absolute truth, which in the beginning may appear as impersonal. How beautifully Prabhupada explains this point, right? So this is the now there is a stark difference between going close spiritually and going close materially. You know, sometimes we see some material stars. Of course, I mean, they are all great people in their own ways. But you may say this superstar, this actress, or this cricketer, or this footballer, or something like that. So from a distance, they look very beautiful. But when we start going close to them, all the fallacies will start coming out. Spiritual life is exactly opposite. From a distance, one will have some realization, but more closely, why people want to go close to senior devotees, why people want to go close to have more association of Maharaj or sannyasis or something like that. Because spiritually, when we go more close, of course, making sure that we are not committing any offense because of familiarity breeding contempt. But Prabhupada writes here, the more we develop our devotional service, the more closely we approach the absolute truth, which in the beginning, when we realize the absolute truth from a distant place, is manifest as impersonal. It's not a beautiful word Prabhupada puts up here. Yeah, please continue.
People in general who are under the influence of avidya shakti or maya have neither knowledge nor devotion. But when a person who is a little advanced and is therefore called a jnani advances even more, he is in the category of jnana mishra bhakta, or a devotee whose love is mixed with empiric knowledge. When he is still further advanced, he can realize that that absolute truth is a person with multi-energies. An advanced devotee can understand the Lord and his creative energy. As soon as one accepts the creative energy of the absolute truth, the 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood. Devotees who are still further advanced in full knowledge can understand that the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Only on that platform can one fully enjoy transcendental bliss. An example is given in this connection by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura of a person proceeding towards destination. As he approaches, he sees the destination from a distant place, just as we see a city from a distance. At that time, he simply understands that the city is situated at a distance. When he comes still nearer, however, he sees the domes and flags. But as soon as he enters the city, he sees various paths, gardens, lakes, marketplaces with shops and persons buying. He sees varieties of cinema houses, he sees dancing and jubilation. When a person actually enters the city and personally sees the activities of the city, he becomes satisfied. Hare Krishna.
Now, further, Srila Prabhupada, he explains that people in general, they are under the influence of avidya. And because of this avidya shakti, there is neither knowledge nor devotion. Little advancement, one will lead to little knowledge, one will become a jnani, and when he will advances more, he will come to the category of jnana mishrita bhakta. So advances more is bahunam janmanam, right? So So slowly one will advance like this. Then he will realize, oh, there is some supreme, there is some energy. And then he will consider, then he will come to know that there are multi-energies. So person will start worshipping some energy, and then he will realize energy cannot exist without energetic. There has to be a personality who is energetic, who is the source of all this creative energy. And then he will start searching for that personality. Then he will realize, oh, that personality must be full of all the opulences. And then slowly he will develop the full knowledge. And then he will understand the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So this is the progressive realization from karmi to jnani to more realized and then slowly becoming full-fledged devotee. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives the example of we approaching a city from a distant place. Just like we are in an aeroplane and we are approaching a city. And, from a distance, we may see only small houses, something. There is no distinction between one house and another. But slowly, when we are landing, then we realize, oh, there are many more houses, many more things. And when we start walking through the city, we will realize there are many more pleasure activities are also going on. So the hill example, Prabhupada gives another example here of approaching the city and realizing. Text 17. So this is the final prayer that Dhruva is offering. So we'll recite this one. Satya Shishoni Bhagavan Tava Pada
Satyashisho hi Bhagavanstava Pada Padma.
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking. We are not able to hear properly.
Vashistatha Vajataha Purushottamurte Appeva
Varmaya Bhagavana Parapati Dinana.
Sarvavatsa Kamanuraho Matarosman.
Should I read the translation?
Yeah, please read the translation.
Yes, Prabhuji. O Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is the benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer, just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. Purport. Dhruva Mahārāja was cognizant of the defective nature of his own devotional service. Pure devotional service is without material form and is not covered by mental speculation or fruitive activities. Pure devotional service is therefore called ahatuki, unmotivated. Dhruva Mahārāja knew that he had come to worship the Lord in devotional service with a motive, to get the kingdom of his father. Such an adulterated devotee can never see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. He therefore felt very grateful for the causeless mercy of the Lord. The Lord is so merciful that not only does he fulfill the desires of a devotee who is driven by ignorance and desires for material benefit, but he also gives such a devotee all protection, just as a cow gives milk to a newly born calf. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord gives intelligence to the constantly engaged devotee so that he may gradually approach the Lord without difficulty. A devotee must be very sincere in his devotional service. Then, although there may be many things wrong on the devotee's part, Krishna will guide him and gradually elevate him to the highest position of devotional service. The Lord is addressed herein by Dhruva Mahārāja as Purushartha Murti, the ultimate goal of life. Generally, Purushartha is taken to mean execution of a type of religious principle or worship of God in order to get material benediction. Prayers for material benediction are intended for satisfying the senses. And when one is frustrated and cannot fully satisfy the senses in spite of all endeavor, he desires liberation or freedom from material existence. These activities are generally called Purushartha. But actually, the ultimate goal is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Panchama Purushartha, the ultimate goal of life. Lord Chaitanya therefore taught us not to ask from the Supreme Personality any benediction such as material wealth, popularity, or a good wife. One should simply pray to the Lord to be constantly engaged in his transcendental loving service. Dhruva Mahārāja, being cognizant of his desire for material benefit, wanted protection from the Lord so that he might not be misled or deviated from the path of devotional service by material desires. Hare Krishna.
So now Dhruva Maharaj is concluding his prayers. Satyashisho hi bhagavans tava pada padmam. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
Now
you are audible.
So he's saying, my dear Lord, you are the supreme personification form of all the benedictions. Satya Ashisha. What a beautiful name, right? Satya Ashisha. He Bhagavans Tava Padmapur. And then you are Purushartha Murti. For one who abides by your devotional service with no other desire. So therefore, is far better than becoming a king and lording it over the kingdom. To ignorant devotee like me, you are causelessly merciful maintainer, just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by providing milk and also giving protection from the attack. So, my dear Lord, you are providing me nourishment, and please protect me from what? From my own desires, right? Please protect me from my own desires. So, although devotee may pray to the Supreme Lord few things here and there, but one prayer one should devotee also offer is that, my dear Lord, I have so many unlimited desires, but I don't know which is good and which is bad. Please protect me from my desires. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very special, and he is known for protecting the devotees from their own desires. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Dhruva Mahārāja was cognizant of his defective nature of his own devotional service. Pure devotional service is without material form, anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karma adi anavritam, and it is neither covered by mental speculation or fruitive activities. Now, Dhruva's devotional service, although it is extremely glorious, but still it was tinged by mode of passion, right? It was Rajoguna. And what is the effect of such a devotional service? Because it was tinged by Rajoguna, the effect of Rajoguna is always Kama and Krodha. And because the devotional service began with Krodha, the whole world was trembling, and people were not able to breathe, the demigods, they were shaking. So, this is the result of Rajoguni devotional service. And therefore, Lord had to be pleased. Of course, Lord was very pleased otherwise, because Dhruva was following instructions of Narada Muni. And, he was just following the instructions and just doing. Somehow the intention of Dhruva, that intensity came from that insult that he suffered through. But he was cognizant. He had come to the Supreme Lord with some motive, right? What was that motive? To have the kingdom better than his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, that is Brahma. Such an adulterated devotee can never see the Supreme Personality. Dhruva was aware of this. But still, the Lord personally appeared in front of him, and that was the causeless mercy of Narada Muni, that spiritual master. And therefore, Dhruva felt extremely grateful for the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is so merciful that not only does he fulfill the desires of a devotee who is driven by ignorance and desires of them for the material benefit, but he also gives such a devotee all protection. Right? Classic example of this is Indra. Lord is known as Upendra. Why Upendra? Because he is Upa Indra. Upa Indra means he is younger brother of Indra. And Indra has all different types of desires. He is a great devotee. He is Sakam Bhakta. The Lord, fulfills the desires, protects such a personality. But ultimately, devotee has to realize that this is not the goal of my life. Right? The goal of the life is Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. Anukuliyana Krishnanushelanam, or the devotional service has to be Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. So, although the Lord was pleased, Lord is standing in front of him, still there was a tinge of dissatisfaction within the heart of Dhruva, because he knew, Prabhupada writes very beautifully, that he was cognizant of the defective nature of his own devotional service. The Lord is called as Purushartha Murti. Purushartha Murti means ultimate goal of life. Generally, Purusharth means क्या करके दिखाया life में, right? What is your contribution is called as Purusharth. Previously, Purusharth means Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It was a Purusharth. Nowadays, people just say, what is your contribution? That is Purusharth. But the ultimate Purusharth, Panchama Purusharth, is devotional service. This is called as Panchama Purusharth, ultimate goal of life. That is Bhakti. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us that one should not simply be after these four Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Simply, one should not be therefore looking for these things. In the prayers, Mahaprabhu says this, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvai. Right. Now, the trick for a devotee is that, in the formative years of one's life, he has to pray like this, but work exactly achieving those things. Right. So this is something many devotees, even I very, badly miss this. Sometimes when we say na dhanam, na janam, that doesn't mean that we should not earn money. That is not the point here. Right. So the point is, we have to be Dhananjay. At the same time, we have to not be the proprietor of our all these Dhanam, Janam, Sundari and everything. Correct. So Prabhupada writes here, Dhruva Mahārāja, being cognizant of his desire for the material benefit, wanted protection from the Lord so that he might not be misled from the path of pure devotional service. So this is how Dhruva has prayed and concluded his prayers. Text 18. Maitreya uvacha atha bhishruta evam vai satyasankalpena dhimata bhrutyanurakto bhagavan pratinandyam idam abravit. Translation.
The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Mahārāja, who had good intentions in his heart, finished his prayer, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him, speaking as follows.
Yeah. So, such a beautiful verse it is. So, Maitreya is such an amazing personality, such a refined personality Maitreya is. Athabhishtata evam vai satya sankalpa dhimata. Satya sankalpa. So what is the meaning of satya sankalpa? Satya sankalpa means by Dhruva Mahārāja, who had only good desires in his heart. Satya sankalpa. Satya sankalpa is also used sometimes for the Supreme Lord, that whose sankalpa always becomes satya. And it is also used for the devotees, whose sankalpa also becomes satya by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Vrityanurakto Bhagavan. Vritya anuraktaha. Very favorably disposed towards his devotees. Bhaktavatsalaha. Vrityanurakto Bhagavan. And then the Supreme Lord, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him and began speaking as follows. Now, text 19. So now we will see the Supreme Lord is going to speak, and the Lord is bestowing the benedictions to Dhruva, and thus he will be departing. We are in the third section, 18 to 26. That is the speech by the Supreme Lord. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Vedaham te vyavasitam Rudirajanya balaka Tat prayachami badram te Durapam api subrata. Translation.
The personality of Godhead said, My dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. All good fortune unto you. Purport. The Lord is so merciful to his devotee that he immediately said to Dhruva Mahārāja, Let there be all good fortune for you. The fact is that Dhruva Mahārāja was very much afraid in his mind, for he had aspired after material benefit in discharging his devotional service, and this was hampering him from reaching the stage of love of God. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.44, it is said, Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam. Those who are addicted to material pleasure cannot be attracted to devotional service. It is true that at heart, Dhruva Mahārāja wanted a kingdom that would be far better than Brahmaloka. This was a natural desire for a Kshatriya. He was also only 5 years old, and in his childish way, he desired to have a kingdom far greater than his fathers, grandfathers, or great grandfathers. His father, Uttanapad, was the son of Manu, and Manu was the son of Lord Brahma. Dhruva wanted to excel all these great family members. The Lord knew Dhruva Mahāraja's childish ambition, but how was it possible to offer Dhruva a position more exalted than Lord Brahma's? The Lord assured Dhruva Maharaj that Dhruva would not be bereft of the Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruva not to be worried that he childishly had material desires and at the same time had the pure aspiration to be a great devotee. Generally, the Lord does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruva Maharaja's case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. This example illustrates that a highly qualified devotee can have a facility of material enjoyment and at the same time execute love of God. This, however, was a special case of Dhruva Maharaj.
So now here, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Lord began to speak. Vedaham te vyavasitam Hridi Rajanya Balaka. My dear Rajanya Balaka, my dear son of a king, I know Vedaham Samatitani, right? Vedaham te vyavasitam. I know your Drida Sankalpa, Satya Sankalpa. For Tat Priyachami Bhadram te, all good fortune unto you. What your desire is, it is impossible to attain, very, very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill. Nonetheless, because you have pleased me, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. Bhadramte, all good fortune unto you. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Lord was aware that Dhruva Maharaj had a desire in the heart, and at the same time, he was afraid in the mind that how did he exchange devotional service for material benefit? And therefore, he's praying just like a cow protects the calf. My dear Lord, please protect me. And here, therefore, Lord, immediately he said, Bhadram te, all good fortune unto you. Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita here, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya aparita chetasam. It is very difficult for such people who are addicted to material pleasure to get attracted to devotional service. But in this case, although Dhruva was, in a way, he was addicted to material opulence, but he also had a natural desire to be a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Being a Kshatriya, he wanted this kind of a thing. Being a child, his desire knew no bounds. He just heard his mother saying, your great-grandfather Brahma also attained the kingdom by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, go worshipping. So he wanted kingdom, he heard about Pitama, he heard about from mother, and he just messed up with his desire and he said that I want a kingdom which is far greater than my great-grandfather, not realizing that his father himself was the Chakravarti Samrat, his grandfather was Manu, and his great-grandfather is Brahma, and greater kingdom than great-grandfather is impossible. Durapam. It's very, very difficult. But still, the Lord assured him that yes, the Lord assured Dhruva Maharaj that Dhruva would not be bereft of Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruva. He said that, yes, because you have pleased me, take this. Right? And generally, Prabhupada writes here, generally, the Lord will not award material benediction to his pure devotee. Yasyaham anugrannami harishye tadhanam shanai. But Dhruva had the capacity, he was highly qualified to handle both material opulence and the spiritual opulence. And therefore, the Lord was very happy to reward Dhruva with Dhruva Loka. Now, the description of Dhruva Loka will be coming in the next text. We will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a small question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, just general thought. So when Lord appeared, he appeared as thousand-headed thousand-headed Narayan or Viṣṇu, right?
No. He's the name Sahastra Shirsha. That Lord appeared. Lord appeared as Paramatma. He was meditating on Paramatma. And the meditation broke suddenly, saw what he was meditating inside was outside. His name is Sahasra Shirsha.
Okay. But he doesn't have 1,000 heads or something.
No. He did not see Virat Rupa or Vishwarupa there.
Okay.
He just saw the beautiful form, what he was meditating inside.
Okay. In the like I was reading first and third chapter, there in the Purusha, when the Purushottama was explaining, he also there is mentioned about Garbhodaka Viṣṇu as lots of shoulders, like Sahasra Bahu.
So these are different manifestations of the Lord. So, but Garbhodakshai Viṣṇu is what generally we see, right?
Yeah, normal, like four-handed only.
Four-handed Viṣṇu form.
Okay.
And, yes.
So the third chapter, that Purushottama, what they mention about Sahasra Bahu, is it mentioning without Rupa? Okay, probably I can share that.
See, the incarnations of the Lord, even the Chaturbahu incarnation of the Lord resides within, the form of Krishna, right? That's what Lord Krishna showed. First the Virata Rupa, then he showed the four-handed form of Viṣṇu Murti to Arjuna, and then Saumyam Tava Janardana, and then he showed the Saumya form of the two-handed. So for the Lord, although he may be called Sahasrabahu, Sahasra Shirsha, he has everything within himself. He can manifest any form. But the general form of the Lord, as Garbhodakshai Viṣṇu, is what we see as, the Lord with four-handed form, Chaturabhuja.
It's not like four-headed Brahma has four heads, like 1,000 shoulders or nothing like that.
No,
maybe
not
it's internally there, but
he can manifest that form.
Okay.
But he can manifest because it's what is form of the Lord. I mean, it is like you are in one dress and you are in another dress. Simple. Sometimes you can be in dhoti kurta, sometimes you can be in three-piece. Correct. Same personality.
Yes, thank you for this.
To the Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.